Hey, Heart Warriors! Welcome back to another show. And today I've got a beautiful, beautiful woman on the other end I'm going to be interviewing. You guys are going to be stoked about her. So maybe you're driving and you're just listening to this. If you're watching, I hope you're ready for some beautiful, beautiful eye candy. And it's good for you candy. She's beautiful on the inside, even more so than on the outside from what I've read about her. And I'm stoked to have her here for an hour of our time to enrich our lives. This woman, Dale Thomas, is what I've heard other people refer to. This is the gossiper on the internet anyway, as the Hope Doctor, which I love because, in America, we say we have to have gone through, medical training to become a doctor. But really, I think that sounds more pleasant. I have an appointment today to go see my Hope Doctor. That just sounds inspiring. So today you guys have a beautiful 1 hour call witnessing me interviewing the Hope Doctor that will hopefully, in a positive way, inject you with some hope. And first of all, I'd love to just introduce you to the show, Dale Thomas. Thank you so much for being here today, beautiful.
Oh, hey, gorgeous. I am reaching through the screen today and giving you a hug from gorgeous Nashville, Tennessee. And I love that you introduced me as the Hope Doctor. And let me tell everyone that's listening or watching this right now how I define hope. And I define hope as helping other people excel. And if every single day, and that's exactly what you're doing, Diane, with this heart project, this happiness project, we are empowering others and to help them excel in every single part of their day. So I am thrilled to be here, happy to be a part of this, and excited to share some information. As people listen to us today, they can take it and empower their own lives and hopefully go bless someone else.
I love that. And it just turned afternoon here, but I know one of the things I really want to talk about today is, every interview I do a lot of research on, what makes you tick. And obviously we don't all just reach happiness because we've just survived happy our whole life. We all have to go through our struggles to be able to know what happiness feels like. And so, Dale has this really amazing thing called Motivational Mondays, and I've looked through several of them. So you guys got to follow her and just read these. The one that I just so happened to click on this morning, I want to focus on a lot. So we're going to get to that one, and that one is hope. And having someone who believes in you as much as you believe in them. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about some other ones that just struck me. I mean, yours is you have the most beautiful aura of, I feel so far that anybody I've interviewed, you just have a beautiful, happy sense about you, but it can't always be that way. I'm sure. I'm sure that, I know you were former Mrs. You represented Mrs. America for Tennessee, right? In the 90s.
Yes.
And so I know so many people at one point, including myself, not anymore, because I've been labeled the same way as you, which is, oh, you're so beautiful. And so therefore, how can you be unhappy ever? I mean, look at you.
Exactly.
You're just born happy because you're born beautiful, and which means that I have a reason to not be happy because I don't think I'm beautiful, which I know 98% of women struggle with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about how are you feeling today in terms of happiness? And then you can expand on that from where I just brought you to, which is your history in Mrs. America and what brought you here.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, it's 85 and sunny in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. So first of all, I'm a girl who loves warm weather, so I'm abundantly happy today. But you know what? I think happiness is a choice. So many people think that success is the precursor to happiness, but choosing to be happy is the precursor to success. And I grew up in a little tiny poor community in North Mississippi. I was not a happy child. I was a negative child. I grew up very, very poor. And I grew up in an environment where I didn't think I had any choices. So when people look at me now and say, well, you have created this and this and this, you must have always been happy or always been in that environment, that is absolutely not the truth. So if you're listening to me and to us right now, I just need you to know that everything that I embrace right now in my life to choose happiness, to create happiness, I have learned. A positive attitude and happiness is not an emotion. It's a choice. And a positive attitude every day is a choice. My son, Nick, is now 30. And when he was little, when he was like 2 years old, You know, they say that the kids are in their terrible twos. Well, I decided Nick was in his terrific twos, whether he liked it or not. And he did not like it. He did not like it. And every day when Nick was little, he would get up and he would growl at me and he'd make all these faces. And I would get in his face and I'd catch his little fat little face and I'd kiss him and I'd say, "Good morning, Nick Thomas. You can choose to be happy today." And he'd go, "I want you to be happy." I'm like, okay. Just so you know, it's your choice. So wherever you are right now, regardless of the circumstances that are surrounding you, I need you to understand that many times you can't change your circumstance, but you can change your reaction to it. So you can't wait for another person to make you happy, an event to make you happy, a job to make you happy. Happiness is an inside job that you've got to look inside yourself, be thankful for that you woke up above ground today, and that you can find gratitude. And you've got to look inside yourself and find out who you really are. And that is a journey that I've had to walk my entire life. Like I said, I was shy, insecure, grew up very, very poor. So all of this journey has been one that has come from the inside out. So I'm abundantly happy today. I started my day at like 4:30 this morning with a great cup of coffee, a book that I'm reading called Presence by Amy Cuddy, and my journal. And
yes.
That's how I start every day, because I make my living as a professional speaker, a motivational speaker. So I'm constantly pouring love and energy and empowerment into others. And I'm sure many of you are doing the same thing, whether you're a mom or whether you're a teacher or whatever you're doing. If you're pouring into other people, you have got to take some time to fuel your soul. And that's what we're doing for you today. This is soul fuel today. This is soul food, as we say in the South. You are getting your soul food today. So welcome to our happiness, love, and hug today with me and Diane.
Yeah. The Happiness Huddle. I like it.
Yes.
That's cute. I like it. I'm going to use it again. So I was reading through one of the Motivational Mondays. I think it was one of the Motivational Mondays. And it was when you were interviewing someone else, or it was some banter back and forth. And I wrote this note down because since I've been coming out, I guess you can say I've been experiencing more of who I am versus who I'm not. And I think that a lot of people need to realize that that's what this is all about, is finding out and discovering truly what makes them happy and going after that, which is one of the things we're going to talk about today. And so I've actually experienced some pushback against that, Dale. It's such a trip. I've been getting emails, from some people from my past who are coming out and saying that I'm crazy for the things I'm posting, the fact that I love unicorns, but that for me makes me feel more magical. And it reminds me of my childhood, when the last time I remember, I know. And they said, you know, you should follow Jesus instead of this whole unicorn nonsense. And I'm just like, whoa, okay. But, and then she said that it's easy to love ourselves. It's harder to love other people. And I said, opposite for me.
Absolutely
it is
not.
So much easier for me to love other people. I have beat myself up my whole life. And I feel I can love others better when I learn to take care of and love myself. And I read this on your website, and I want you to run with this one. The person that it was just on your website, I'm too busy to slow down and invest in myself. Saying that is like being too busy driving to not stop for gas. And I wrote my own note to that, is that eventually the side effects is cancer and disease and weight gain and depression. And then that transfers down into the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation. So let's run with that one.
Well, and especially growing up here in the South, of course, especially as a good Southern woman, I laughingly say that my mother gets up and fries a chicken every day just in case somebody dies, so she can be the first one on the spot with funeral food, because she's going to take care of everybody else first. And my mother is brilliant, amazing, and turns 80 years old this year, and she's beautiful. But my mother has never taken great care of herself, and she's always put everybody else first. And I've watched that through the years. And if you're a mother and you're listening to us today, if you want to teach your daughter how to have great self-esteem, how to know who she is, the greatest thing you can do is live that in front of her. But if you are constantly beating yourself up and saying how bad you look and how all these things you are not, then they're going to mirror that. So through the years, I have had to learn, and it was a very hard learning process, that I did have to put myself on the to-do list, because so many people make these lists. They make Christmas lists and grocery lists and the list of things to do for their job or writing their goals down. But when do we ever make it to the list? And you cannot do the job that you need to do as a woman, as a man, as anyone, if you are neglecting this vehicle that God sent you the planet with. This is your car. God sent you in a car. And if you do not maintain your car, if you don't put gas in your car is not going to run. I cannot be all I need to be, because I am called to do what I do. That's why I speak. That's why I write books. That's why I do Motivational Monday. But I cannot be effective and follow my calling if I don't refuel my car. If I say I don't have time to read, I don't have time to associate with positive people, if I don't have time to go into inner space and fuel that soul, then I am not going to be effective on the outside. So we've got to stay up out of the guilt. And let me just tell you this right now, all of you that are listening, guilt is a choice. Nobody can make you feel guilty without your permission. Nobody can make you feel angry without your permission. Nobody can do anything without your permission. This is your permission. They can give it to you, but it's like handing you a gift. You either take it or you don't. So no one can make you feel guilty if you say, hey, look, I need a timeout. And especially as women, we need to ask for what we need in life. So many people think our boyfriends, our husbands, other people want to, that they can read our minds. First of all, they don't want to read our minds, so stop expecting them to. And we have got to learn to ask for what we need in this path of taking care of ourselves. And, because I grew up very insecure, I didn't think I was pretty. I was too tall, too skinny. My eyes and my lips were too big at the wrong time. I was the girl that never had a date. I was the girl that always got dumped. And so I grew up with this horrible self-esteem, thinking that I was so unattractive. And so as I have discovered my gifts and found it from the inside out, I finally embraced all these things. My name is Dale. That's a man's name. I was admitted to college as a man. I thought that was cool because I was looking for a husband. But anyway, we'll go on. And even now when they, put my name but not my picture when I walk in to speak, I'm a big surprise. But one of the campaigns that I started a few years ago, especially for women, I just actually came up with it on stage, and now it's a full campaign. I've got a brand new CD that's built around this. But I ask women every day, and I ask men too, how many of you got up and started your day in a positive note? Did you get up and go to the mirror, look in the mirror and say, good morning, gorgeous, or good morning, champion? And the women look at me like, really? Are you serious? Because most of the women are looking in the mirror and going, oh, good God, what happened? Was that there last night? And they're doing this. That's what so many people do not look in the mirror and see something beautiful. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is my Good Morning Gorgeous CD that I just came out with. And so what I instruct women to do is get in the mirror. I don't care what you see. And you say, good morning, gorgeous, to yourself out loud when you start the day. So if you're listening to me, I want you to do that. Now, your husband or your boyfriend's going to go, hey, because the guys always think they look good. They always know they look good. And then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to pay that forward. And tomorrow, I want you to say that to 5 other women and say, good morning, gorgeous. And what she's going to do is go, oh, no, my hair looks awful. And they're going to try to give it back. The next thing I need you to do is if someone gives you a compliment is to say thank you. So say good morning, gorgeous, or text 5 people tomorrow. It is now all that my girlfriends say. We will text each other, hey, good morning, gorgeous, good morning, gorgeous. And just hearing that lifts us up and help us focus on something of gratitude. Now, I went a long time on that one answer. Sorry, girl.
Sorry. Well, wait a second. So while you bring tears to my eyes, because I do know how hard it is to give ourselves a compliment, and self-love, I think, is the most challenging thing for women today, which, we're the seed of the planet. We are, goddesses of Mother Earth. And I think of that, if we are internally destroying ourselves, then we are externally destroying the planet and those around us. And so for me to say something back to you is there's something you also wrote about being unapologetically optimistic.
Yes, I'm an unapologetic optimist, just unapologetic about it.
But you just apologized.
I know. I was actually just kidding you.
Oh, okay, good. But we probably should have clarified that, because that is something else that I hear so many women doing, and I'm very ultra cognizant of this now. You
got to be on word patrol.
Yes, and this is where I want to transition to, because there's, I always like to ask everybody before we start this, so I know how to direct us, is, what are the 3 powerful takeaways and that people can start implementing ASAP? And you just shared one.
Yes.
This one here, your number 2, is your words can change your world.
Absolutely.
And I didn't know that you would be the person that I was going to get to talk about this, because I've been looking for someone who specifically puts themselves out there as, be very mindful with the choice of words, how you not only speak them to yourself, but how you convey them to others, and then receiving the literacy of other people's words to mean exactly what you would mean if you said or thought them. And so there's this 3 tertiary interplay there. But I'm very careful now when I say, oops, sorry, even if I'm like walking down the hall and I bump into something and I think it's like an inhumane object. Yeah. It's like, well, am I really sorry? I think it should be more like, excuse me. So let's talk about words. Yeah.
And see, I really started embracing this. I grew up on a farm in Mississippi. And so I look at words as seeds. And so many people are planting these words out into the universe and out into the world. Now, my daddy did not plant cotton and expect corn to come up. If he planted cotton, he got cotton. But yet we are speaking all of this negativity out into ourselves and to others. And yet we want to live a positive, happy life. If you want to start to live a positive, happy life, then you need to get on word patrol. And I want you to think about it like this. And I teach this from the stage. What if every word that you spoke out of your mouth the last 30 days instantly came true? Where would you be right now? When I say that from stage, the place goes quiet. I did have a woman the other day raise her hand. She said, I'd be in jail. And I said, what did you do? Tell him you were going to kill him? And she went, yes, sister, and I'm in it too. So think about that. But think about it. We're working ourselves to death. Here in the South, if it's a little hot, we're burning up. So we're popping up in flames everywhere. Or if it's, you Southern Californians, if it's 55, y'all are freezing. So y'all are freezing to death. So y'all are solid blocks of ice. And then the mothers are saying the kids are driving me crazy. So y'all are locked up somewhere. Then you're saying I'm about to pull my hair out. So y'all are bald. So think about this. Think about working myself to death, scared to death, and all the things that we say if they literally came true. And now when I speak, so many people will say to me, knock them dead. Oh, right. That's what I want to do. I want to be so good they fall out dead. And Tom taught me this. Our mutual friend Tom taught me to say, knock them alive. And think about that. Break a leg. Somebody always says, break a leg to me. No, I don't think I'm going to choose those words today. So be very careful about the words. And when I'm having a tough day, I say I'm having a character building day. Not a difficult day. I actually created a postcard I'm going to hold up. And if you're listening to us or seeing us and you want a copy of this postcard, all you need to do is go to my website and contact me through my site, which is dalesmiththomas.com. And this says your words change your world. And here are the words. I'm not angry. I'm just disenchanted. Now, you cannot stay angry and be disenchanted. And you just tell somebody, hey, you are disenchanting me today. And then the next one, every time that we tell ourselves we're nervous, if you have someone come in on an interview and they've told themselves they're nervous, don't you feel their nervous energy even coming through the screen? Because they've talked themselves into the physiology of being nervous. So as a speaker, people ask me all the time, are you nervous? I'm like, no, because I'm not there to take anything. I'm there to give. This is my gift to them. What they do with it is up to them. So I'm not nervous, I'm energized. So the next time you feel nervous, just say energized. And here's the big one that I know many of you have said over and over again. You've said, I am so stressed out. Well, I heard a 4-year-old say it the other day. It scared me to death. I'm like, dude,
No.
why are you saying that? He's like, Mom, I was stressed out, so I'm stressed out too. These babies are listening. So if you're listening to me right now, those children are listening to you. So here is your new word. You are not stressed out. You are blessed out. If you woke up above ground today and got to see the light of day, you were blessed. And if you're here in the United States of America and listening to us today, you are blessed. You can stop and find one reason to consider yourself blessed. So quit getting stressed out and just get blessed out. That's an amen for me. And the next one, the final one is, how many times do you hear people say that they're so overwhelmed? And I was doing that because I travel around the world full time. And sometimes my schedule is a little crazy. And I thought, I've got to stop saying I'm overwhelmed, because the more I say it, the more I feel it. So, hey, Diane, here's our new word. We're not overwhelmed. We're just in demand. We're in demand. And that just reframes the way you think about it. And when you reframe it and the way you think about it, you start acting differently, because motion creates emotion. I want everybody to get that. Motion creates emotion. Meaning, if you walk around with your shoulders slumped and feeling exhausted and tired, if you stay in that physical place, you're going to emotionally feel that. But if you will rise up and sit up and put a smile on your face and find a reason to be blessed, then that emotion will start to follow. No, I do not get up like this every day. Most days, I don't know what time zone I'm in, what airplane I'm in, what hotel I'm in. Yes, I do get tired, but I wake up every day and I make a choice to be happy, a choice to be in this positive space, so I can be the vessel and the messenger to go out and bless the people that I am privileged to share with. So there is your words change your world. So as my mama used to say here in the South, you better watch your mouth.
We used to get soap in the mouth if we used the F word or the SH word when we were kids. And it's almost like now, if I were a kid and actually demanded it be used a different way. Hey, Grandma, can you put soap in my mouth when I say something negative about myself, or when I'm complaining, or when I say that I'm stressed out? It's almost like that would be the new way of doing it. When you hear
I
kids
did it
say,
with Nick. Nick got in trouble for saying he can't. And I think it was the shut up was not allowed in our house. And remember when it got to be kind of trendy, you'd be talking to your girlfriend and go, oh no, shut up.
Yes.
Mom was calling me on it every minute. It's like, Mom, you cannot say shut up. You can't say shut up.
And it just sounds so offensive.
I know, right?
But
so if you wanted just a little tool today, again, do the Good Morning Gorgeous, look in your face and find that gorgeousness, and then start to transform your words. And I promise you, if you will just use those on yourself and then use words that are empowering, like I said, words are either poison or power. And so I wrote a song here in Nashville. I have a motivational music CD, and I wanted songs that could empower. And we wrote a song called Poison or Power. And if you just thought about that every time that you dropped a word out there, if you were dropping poison or you were dropping power, either into somebody else's life or in yours, if you just paid attention, this is all about awareness. But we are on automatic pilot because negative is normal. You do not have to look for negative. It will find you. You turn on the news, you pick up a newspaper, you talk to just about anybody out there, they will tell you everything that is going wrong in your life. But if you are going to empower your life, you are going to have to search for the positive, just like you are with us today. It is not going to be something that you do today and never do again. This has got to be part of your daily routine if you want to be empowered every day, because negativity is going to hit you every day from somewhere. You've got to empower your soul, and that comes from what you're putting in your soul. And even the Bible says that out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth will speak. So if you start listening to what you're saying, you're going to know what's in your heart. Be careful.
Yes, yes. And then looking at your outer world, this is where I want to transition to your first one, which is, the 3 powerful takeaways that people can focus on now. Your decisions determine your destiny.
Right.
And I loved the Motivational Monday today that you had, where you talked about being believed in and believing in others. And so that's a decision to, you get to decide who you believe in. You get to decide who you surround yourself by and with. You get to decide what you take or not take from people. Like in that example earlier, and I just started arduously writing down notes, because I use the analogy of, hey, Dale, here's some flowers. I bought these for you. And you're like, that's the analogy to a compliment. You would throw my flowers across the room by going, oh, this whole hairdo. It's the same thing, but we are taking on the other end, oh, you look awful today. Oh, like, why would you even think about doing that? You're never going to succeed at that. I mean, this is other people's talk, other people's negativity you're talking about. I take that.
And you make that bigger.
I make that bigger, but yet I'm throwing flowers across the room.
Exactly.
And so that is a sign of, why have I chosen to surround myself with these people? Why have I decided? Because I decided to pick you today. People have decided to pick me as their nutritionist. Maybe not even so much about the nutrition, but because they know that I believe in them the same way that people are asking you to speak, because they see you believing in yourself, and they want to believe in themselves because they want someone else to believe in them who also believes in themselves. So can we talk about the importance of making the decision to surround yourself with people who believe in you?
Oh, absolutely. And it has been a journey for me. And especially because I make my living out in the public eye. And so I see a lot of people, but I don't get to really connect with a lot of people. And that is a big difference. And I will just be really transparent. People see me and see this image of me and what I believe and what I teach and what I empower. And they automatically think that I have this big team or circle of people who are building me up. That's just kind of the automatic response. And so especially when people come up to me and they stop and they thank me for Motivational Monday, I always, and they sometimes apologize and say, I know you probably hear this all the time, but I just want to tell you what Motivational Monday meant to me. And I always stop them and say, you know what, that's not the truth. Because everybody thinks I hear it all the time.
Yes.
Then they don't give it to me. So it has been I will be honest, it has been a struggle to feel that I have got some people in my immediate world that truly believe in what my bigger vision is. And as a public figure, it seems like the bigger the public influence gets, the smaller the circle is. But I can tell you I've got 3. And you know what? If you've got 1, it doesn't take 3. But if you have got one person who is that wind, who believes in you until you believe in yourself. And you know what? There are days I'm just like all the rest of you. I teach this every day and it's still hard. Those old messages still try to come back. And so I'm telling you, from a woman who teaches it every day, I had an eating disorder in my early 20s and struggled with an eating disorder in my early 20s, trying to be seen. And I couldn't control, I felt like anything else in my life, but I could be skinny. I could control that number on the scale. And when I finally started doing the inner work and finally started realizing all those triggers and what was happening, then I started to change those messages and change that input. But what I truly believe is those who do not increase you will decrease you. And I know that you cannot get rid of all the negative people in your world, but you can be the guardian at the gate for who you allow to speak to your soul. And if somebody is not encouraging you and believe in your dream, don't drink from that cup. You can thank them and you can still love them, but you can bless them with love and release them and let them go. And I believe if you're holding on to all of those negative people in your world, they're taking up space for the people that are supposed to be encouraging you in your world. And you have got to clear the space. Now, I've never taught that before. That was just divine intervention coming through right here, right now. And so you have got to make the space, and you've got to be patient enough to wait. And if your belief system, if there is nobody physically believing in you yet, there are plenty of books out there with authors who have written messages that can empower you. Pick that up, start to change the way you think and feel and the way you believe, and you will start to attract those like-minded people into your soul circle. So be very careful of who you allow to be in that energy field. And you know when they walk in the room. I said, you know what? The weather comes with you when you come in the room. You are either 80 degrees and sunny, or you are cloudy with a chance of rain, or you're a hurricane. Stay away from the hurricanes. They are doing you no good. They are bringing you down. Will y'all get out of the rain? I mean, come on. You can find one person, even if, like I said, if it's someone in a book, until you attract that in your life. Guard your space, guard your dream, just like you would if it was a newborn baby. I want you to think about that for a second. If you had a brand new baby, would you take it into a room of people, of 10 or 12 people that had the flu? Would you expose your newborn baby to someone who is sick? Then why are you doing it with your dreams? Why are you doing it with your hopes? Why are you taking your vision, your dreams, your hopes that you've been given? They're yours. That's your baby. And why are you taking those dreams into a room of sick people who do not understand it? And why are you handing it over? Because nobody can take your dream. Nobody can take your vision. You have to hand it over. So you better protect that dream and that vision and that joy with the fierceness that you would protect a newborn. Because if you have a vision to write a song or write a book or whatever it is you're called to do, only you can do it. It's yours. It was given to you, and you have to be responsible for that. Do not destroy that with other people's vision of you. What somebody else thinks about you or your dream is none of your business. It's none of your business. Draw the people into you that said, yes, yes, you can. I know you're tired today, but I've got your back. And I've got a few people that have got my back. I think I got a new one. Her name is Diane. I have a new one who's got my back. It's my new friend Diane. She got my back too, because I got hers. And we're going to believe in each other. We were brought together for a reason. And y'all are witnessing this happen right now. And it's so divinely inspired how people come together. Don't cry because you're going to make me cry. Don't cry, you're going to make me cry. So fiercely protect that. Fiercely protect that. And be aware of the gifts that drop into your life, like Diane's dropped into mine today. And be aware of that. And just don't give so much power to those that you really want to get it, that don't get it. Celebrate the ones who do. I love you, girl.
God, I love you too. It's beautiful what's happening inside. And this is a part of what I want people to understand. My biggest mission with this is the goal is not to be chronically happy. These tears that I feel right now is a little bit of guilt too, Dale. It's guilt that, when you walked me just through that, and maybe everybody's experience is different. And if you want to stop maybe right now, if you're listening to this replay, and write down how you were just impacted with what Dale said, because I don't want to project what I'm experiencing and the visions that I have. But what I saw, Dale, with that is I saw a table, and it was a table with 5 chairs. Mm-hmm. And I got to invite anybody I wanted to sit and occupy those 5 chairs. Mm-hmm. And the number 5 came from that saying that says, we are the average of
the 5 people we surround ourselves with. Jim Rohn.
Right. And you said 3. And so, which is genius, because, and don't be so anxious to fill the other 2 with don't just do that just so there's a filler.
I don't have 5. I don't.
Yeah, you said you had 3. So I'm thinking, okay, a part of my 5, I mean, I could name them, of course. One that's been difficult for me, and I know some people can say this, is that maybe their parents are someone that they're around the most or their spouse, but they wouldn't put them in the top 5. And then if you could paint a picture of what these people are in terms of the weather, if you could describe this person, would they be, forecast all the time? The forecast, I'm sorry, it would be overcast all the time, with a little bit of sun, chance of sun. Right. Would they, and I'm sitting there describing that. And then mentally, I still have allowed some of my past relationships to hold a seat, even though they're not physically contributing to my my dream. And however, on the other hand, there's this part of them that has fueled my dream that, yes, I can too, even though you didn't believe in me. Look, yes, I can. I'm going to prove myself. So there's different dynamics with different people. And so I guess my little exercise from what you just did is to challenge you guys to sit down and name those 5 people who are currently the ones that are influencing you the most. And then after you have named the weather that describes each of them, consider what you can do to shift that, because you can't change them.
No.
You can't change their weather. So maybe I love the leaving space open so much, because I'm trying to cultivate love in my life. And one of the people I'm going to interview, Renee Piani, she talks about that, about how to keep space open for things to show up. So I want you to talk about it. It shows
up at the most unexpected place, because when you're really looking for it, and one of the things I think I've been doing probably, I don't know, the last 5 or 6 months, is looking for some people to really partner with me and help me, even with the mission that I feel that I'm supposed to achieve on this planet, probably the way you do. And there's some people you just want it to be them. Because you just want it to be them. And I honestly, and this is for you, Diane, I really believe this is for you, probably 4 months ago, I finally took my hands off the wheel. And I just said, I'm going to make the space. And I couldn't have imagined, I couldn't have scripted, I couldn't have, there's the set of circumstances that had to transpire. It was just God and the universe showing out, just showing out. And everything that I've written down through the years is now appearing in my life. It's because I took my hands off of it.
What inspired you to take what was happening in your life that you were holding on tight, that you felt you needed?
I think there was, a lot of times you want people that are just in close proximity to you, as in geography, to be that person to step up and basically help you with your business or see your vision or whatever. And they may support it in their own way, but I feel like you and I are so connected. You want it in a more soulfully connected, see the vision with me kind of way. And they see it and they support it and they're okay with it, but they don't see the vision, the soul. They don't see that part of you. And so I think when we search so hard to try to make them be what that's not supposed to be, we almost miss what comes to us. So don't miss what appears in your life because you're still looking in the rearview mirror. Think about it like this. If you try to drive your car every day only looking in the rearview mirror, what happens? You crash your car. If you were trying to drive your life only looking in the rearview mirror, whether it's a relationship that didn't work and you keep thinking, well, if I looked at it another way, it's going to change, or a situation, or I failed yesterday, or I didn't do that yesterday, or why am I not any further along than I am right now, or why I'm at this age doing this, that is all rear view mirror stuff. You will crash your life. Glance back, learn the lesson from the rear view mirror, but you must stay focused forward. And when you do, these magical things will appear if you're aware and you're looking for it.
It's so funny. I'm such an eclectic music person, and I heard Carrie Underwood's "Jesus Take the Wheel."
Yes, you did.
And then I also heard Tupac living life in the rearview, or whatever that is. I heard like country and rap. But it's really funny. And speaking of rap, I think it is important because we hear a lot of these words that aren't even really words being, a whole new language, and music has frequencies too, you guys.
Yes.
So, and I am interviewing somebody on the musical sphere too, actually a couple of people. Words in words and music, and the tonality of songs and music has resonance, frequency and resonancy the same kind of way that people do in our thoughts. So it's important to listen to inspiring and uplifting things too. So music can be a person as well. Now, what you just said, I think, about letting go of the wheel, like Jesus Take the Wheel, right? I love that song.
I do too.
Your third was to learn how to ask. So it sounds like that's what part of what you were just saying is, if we want to be happy, if we want to keep the balance of happy in the spectrum of, among the spectrum of other emotions too, we can't expect other people to read our minds. Can you share a story or what you mean by that?
Sure. But I think when I really mean ask, I think we have to ask more of ourselves first. Meaning we have to ask ourselves to be honest. We have to ask ourselves to really get truthful with ourselves and what we really want. And is that opinion being clouded by what someone else told us we should be or we shouldn't be doing? And one of the things that we're back to the words, I want to share this quick story because I think it will be powerful for so many people out there. I was teaching Nick from a very early age, okay, these words you're not going to say. You're not going to say these words. I was constantly telling him he could choose to be happy and all of this. And then one day he was on my last nerve. He was 10 and I was like ready to take his life. And I was like,
10? Wait, no.
Terrible 10. Terrific 10. It's like, get out of my kitchen. And he looked at me and with love in his eyes, he said, hey, Mama, you don't have to let my actions affect your attitude.
No way.
I'm like, stop listening to my stuff.
No.
But you know what? He had put all that together. That's a Nick Thomas original, that he realized that my actions, my emotions, my attitude did not have to be affected by his actions. Every day, you Southern California people, y'all are allowing somebody to go to work with your joy and you don't even know their name because they cut you off in traffic and their actions ruined your day and you didn't even know their name. So one of the things I want to ask you to do is take your power back. And when you allow someone else's actions to affect your attitude, affect your future, affect your dreams, you're giving them your power. So I want you to ask more of yourself. And ladies, one of the things I was thinking about this Good Morning Gorgeous thing, this is how I want you to visualize it. I believe that we are all sent to this planet. We're born and God puts this little crown on our head because we're valuable. And you're valuable for who you are. Not because somebody said you're somebody, not because of exactly the way you look, but because of who you are. So you're placed as a child with this little tiny crown, invisible crown on your head. And kids can do anything. They're not scared of anything. They're happy usually and embracing life. But what happens, ladies, especially, is when you bow your head in disrespect to yourself first, and you disrespect yourself by tipping your head because you feel unworthy and unvaluable, your crown falls off and it goes rolling across the floor. And you know what? You let somebody kick it across the floor because they didn't text you back or call you back. And you're like, why didn't he text me? Why didn't he call me? Maybe the question should be, I'm so valuable, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he calls me or texts me or not. My value is he valuable enough to call me? But we've changed. We've got these questions about what is wrong with us. And every time you dip your head in disrespect, your crown falls off. I'm going to challenge you every day to hold your head up high with a sense of happiness. You have to hold your head up to keep your crown on your head. And that is not in a place of arrogance. That is in a place of confidence. Confidence says, I walk in the room, I embrace who I am, and I am here to share my gift with you. Confidence shares. Cockiness and arrogance takes. An arrogant, cocky person walks in and sucks the energy from the room because it's what's in it for me. But we have got to be confident, solid, especially women who walk around with their invisible crowns on their head, because the only way we can bless others is to look up and not look down. We've got to look up to see ourselves, to see others, and to make a difference. And if we will collectively come together as women who are committed to be gorgeous every day from the inside out and keep the crown on our heads, we will not only change ourselves, we will change generations, because people will be empowered to follow their dreams that they were sent to this planet with and make a difference every day. Girl, I was preaching.
This is such a crazy interview because it's like you keep reading my mind and I'm feeling yours. It's beautiful. And I was just gonna say, you sound like a preacher. You sound like a beautiful preacher in the most just godlike sense. And you keep saying things and it elicits a lot. And I heard, Amy Cuddy in there too, which is,
yes.
If you guys haven't heard Amy, I think I've referenced her in another one of my interviews where, if we're sitting like this, all slumped over, it actually it alters the hormonal release from our adrenals.
Yes, it does.
Versus sitting like this, our crown can stay on. I love that. So it's the confidence, and when you open up like this, from the yogic sense, I always teach this when I'm teaching, of dog, and it's rolling the shoulders back and opening the heart, and we're offering our heart, and we can receive. I always like to think of it from my childhood as little Care Bears. Care Bears did this, and they shared their love, and then they were able to receive love. And I had a big breakthrough yesterday. I was at Disneyland with a friend and I started seeing things differently. I was like, I'm seeing Disneyland differently. What's going on here? Yeah. And so parts of these interviews that I've been doing and the people that I realize I'm occupying in these seats. And one of them yesterday was my very dear friend, Joey. And he's inspiring for me because he's always doing for others. And then he has me to stop and check him and go, hey, what did you do for yourself today?
Right.
What have you done?
We've got to have those people in our life, because I have to have that. Because I have a hard time receiving. I have a really easy time giving my time, giving everything, but I struggle with sometimes stopping and learning how to receive. And I'm sure a lot of people listening to us right now may struggle with that too, but we are taking the blessing away from others if we also don't stop and receive.
The art of receiving.
The art of receiving. And it's hard. That's one of my biggest challenges.
Why is that,
Gail? I just think we're so comfortable in giving and so comfortable in building others up that we feel guilty that time could be better spent helping them. And so that for me, and so now, thankfully, I have, some people calling me out and say, okay, we've talked about me for 30 minutes. You're not going to run this route with me anymore. We're stopping right now and we're switching the gear. And we're going to talk about you now, whether you like it or not. And that's what I need. Because if I'm going to expand my vision, I've got to have that. And so do you. And so do you.
Yeah, I used to do that and with one of my very best friends, and we'll go on a hike or something, and for 30 minutes I'm like, you've been asking me lots of questions about me and why this and why that, and helping me explore getting to the roots of the patterns that perpetuate the problems. And I realized that these problems don't just happen. I'm not just it's just a bad stroke of unluck. It is that my patterns are creating this. And so we talk through all my stuff, and of course she's a therapist, and that's what she does for a living. But then I go, and I start to feel a little selfish. And I'm like, wait a second. Okay, is it just that she keeps digging deeper?
Yes.
Or is it just that I like talking about myself a lot? Or wait, no. Why aren't we talking about you? How have you been? Wait a second. And it's because we like to distract. If we help other people too much, and it's a formula, then we don't have to pay attention to ourselves. We don't have to be responsible for making that choice, like you said earlier, to be happy, even in the most unfortunate circumstances. And something that we can end on, I think this is a really good thing to end on, Dale, is there's another TED Talk that I love, and that's what I listen to. I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I listen to TED Talks and I read books at night. I don't watch TV. So you get to, that's food for our soul, right? And sustenance for the soul.
Yes.
And there's one of them, I don't know if you've seen this one, but it talks about that the most happy we can be is in this moment, just
present moment. The power is always in the present moment. Yes. Always. That's all you have.
And last night, I've experienced this over the last week, experiencing myself defending my stance of, hey, I didn't call you back or text you back immediately or even that same day, because I was giving the gift
In that
of
moment.
my presence in that moment with my friends and loved ones. And then if I get pushback, no, I'm like, you know what? You don't get a seat in that one of those 5 chairs.
Right. That's right. Give the seat up. And that's one of the things, maybe as we close on this also, if I want you guys to also pay attention, because one of the ways that you really show that you believe in someone, and you just said that, Diane, is by asking questions. And that's what you're doing with all of us. But I'm going to encourage you, if there's someone in your life that needs you to believe in them, I want you to ask them the real questions, because the questions help unlock what's really in their heart and soul. We need to ask, and we need to listen. And we need to listen to the listening. Meaning we need to listen to what's coming back. We shouldn't talk so much, but we listen and embrace. And I really, really pray that our work here with you today helps you go out and be a hope dealer, that it doesn't stop here, that you will help other people excel, and that you will help someone find their gorgeous spirit from the inside out, and you will start to change your words and change your world. And that maybe along the way, you will take that and bless someone else. So will you put up the website so they can sign up for Motivational Monday?
Oh, of course I will. All of the links to find Dale on her social media and everything are going to be to the side of this video when you share it. I mean, you're such a share bear, Dale. This has been the most moving interview that I've had.
Thank you.
And
we were supposed to be together.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, God. Thank you, It's and that's how I know Dale, you guys, is from a good friend of mine, Tom, and he's the one that it was his home in the video that you guys saw introducing you to this project. It was his home. Just because someone has a beautiful home or a beautiful exterior doesn't always mean that they have a beautiful inside. And I think that that's a beautiful takeaway here, is that, you know, beauty is, you know, happiness is an inside job. Beauty is an inside job. Yes. So Dale, I love that you just said be a hope dealer. There's so many little and huge I like how you use a succinct amount of words to describe a grand topic.
Thank you.
You're not a wordy person. You are a very effective communicator. And that's why you're so good and high demand. And you're not overwhelmed. You're in high demand. Yeah. All of those, the choice of words, the power of words. What is the ending thing that you'd like to say with everybody? Because the top, just to summarize today, guys, that what you can start doing, and it shouldn't take hours on end, but I love the thing you said about scheduling in time for yourself. But the 3 things, her powerful takeaways: your decisions determine your destiny. Yes. Your words can change your world. Yes. And learn how to ask. So if you could summarize that as to send them off on their way in about 2 minutes, how would you do it?
You know, 20-something years ago, when I started my company, I was looking for something to name my company. And I heard a little boy whose dad was pouring love into him and teaching him how to dream at even a young age. And this father looked at his little boy and said, "Rich, tell me what you are." And he said, "I'm a winner by choice." Winning every day is a choice. It's not a destination. It's not the car that's in your garage. It's not the money that's in your bank. Winning today, being your personal best today, is a choice. So everything that we've talked about today is within your power to change. But the big thing is, these are things that can be easy to do, but easier not to do. It's little hinges that swing big doors. And these little tiny life principles that we've shared with you today, if you will put them to practice in your life consistently, it will change your life, and you won't know your life 6 months from now. I promise you that. God bless you all. Thank you for letting this Southern girl come into your lives today. Diane, I can't wait to continue work with you, because I have a feeling we got big things to do together, sister.
I have a really big feeling too.
Yes. Yes.
And I love the good morning gorgeous part, because it's been feeling that way for me ever since I started this, and learning from other people, the habits to happiness. And they are their habits. They're their habits. It's you get to make that choice. And I wake up every morning, there's been this shift, and I hear the birds, and I just lay there, and I feel grateful for being above ground. That's a good start. And then the next thing I'm going to start doing is waking up and looking at myself in the mirror without makeup, without having brushed my
good morning,
teeth,
gorgeous.
and just saying,
Dale said.
Yes, and then saying it to other friends too, because that kind of thing.
I'm going to do this.
Yay! Oh, I'm so excited
to do this.
Oh, thanks, Dale. You're such a light, and Tom is right. Your aura is gorgeous, and I'm not even experiencing it in the physical realm, so I can't wait to meet you physically.
Can't wait. I'll see you soon.
I know it. Okay, everybody. Well, lots of awesome notes for you to take on that one. I will probably be listening to this one a lot, repeat, and taking my own notes. So many habits to happiness. I hope you at least start with one, even if it's just good morning, gorgeous. Listen to it again, take some exercises out of it, and we will see you guys for the next interview. Thank you so much, Dale.
Thanks.